Hello from Gardening at Dwensa here in Ireland. And today there's a special treat in store because we're here in County Laois to visit a very important garden. Now this garden is called Heywood and it's important because it's practically a museum piece. It was originally designed by the famous garden architect Lutyens. He was a normal type of architect as well. And the planting scheme was done by the very famous Gertrude Jekyll. They made a fantastic combination, him with his rigid straight lines and her with her flouncy bouncy planting. And this garden has been maintained as originally intended and as best could be. So come on. Let's take a trip through the pages of history and have a look at a garden from yesteryore. Is that a word? Yesteryore? Come on, let's have a look. The hard landscaping in this garden is pretty much typical Lutyens. You can see very symmetrical, quite soft with the curves, and relying heavily on soft planting to break up the hard lines. As you can see, very authentic plants have been used in this strong structure. Now, these are varieties of plants that would have been available at the time that this garden was built and designed. Old-fashioned favourites like the beautifully scented phlox. Some quite pretty angels fishing rods too. Whilst everything here is grown rather well, what it screams out to me is that, well, you know, it's all a bit samey, all a bit boring. I mean, I guess we're spoilt nowadays because we have so many varieties of plants at our fingertips that we can just use and intermingle in any kind of planting scheme. But, well, you know, at the time of Lutyens and Gertrude Jekyll, they just didn't have that variety. I guess part of the problem is that this garden stands still in time. It's what it's supposed to do. I mean, you know, it's reflecting how the garden was originally designed and meant to look. But everybody else's gardens, mine included, you know, they change season on season. We try new plants, others don't do well for us. You know, we ring the changes. Whereas this garden, no, it doesn't do any of that. It doesn't feel like a living, working garden. Would it have felt like a living, working garden more than 100 years ago? I can't really say. I like these little portholes in the wall. I guess they offer nice views over the surrounding countryside. Let's go and have a look. Well, I'm actually too small to see out through this window, but I'm holding the camera up. These trees here are pleached, which means the branches from lower down on the tree have been removed, and then up above the canopy's knit together like a hedge on stilts, really. You know, parts of this garden really remind me of Bodmin Gardens in Wales, and I'm going to put a link to that garden up above. Certainly this section that was supposed to be at the front of the house. And here I am back at the pleached lime walk on the way into the gardens. And I hope you like this trip, and I hope that maybe, I don't know, maybe you loved it, maybe you want to do this in your own garden, maybe it's just of interest. Thanks very much for coming with me anyway. Bye now.